What's going on, YouTubers and YugiTubers? It's Xaldin here. Today, in the first ever time in What Xaldin Thinks, I got a guest host. Well, guest star, actually.
Hi.
Don't be shy. What the hell are you doing?
I don't know.
Anyway, Christian, what's today's subject?
I forgot.
Alright, today's subject is dueling attitude.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me, Christian, what is dueling attitude?
Dueling attitude is how people have been acting like these days. The way how they think they must do this, they must do that in order to win or achieve all that such. Sometimes attitude of some people just doesn't really seem like a good positive impact on certain people, like beginners, for example.
Can you give an example?
Stealing, yelling, starting a fight, making a big deal of ruling, making fun of a beginner's deck of saying stuff that's inappropriate and all that such.
Yeah. Also, we also know some people who do dueling attitude. Like this one guy we know back at our locals, but we're not going to mention his name. But this one guy we know.
Okay.
Yeah, of course, okay, here's how the story went. It was a free-for-all,
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that
guy. Okay, I get where you're going at.
Yeah, I'll tell the first half and you can tell the other half.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a free-for-all tournament. It was like 5 players, I guess?
Well, it wasn't a tournament, but
I know,
it
but
was a free-for-all.
Yeah, it was a free-for-all, was it like 5 people?
At least.
Yeah, at least 5 people. Me, Christian, the person doing dueling attitude, the official judge, and another random local guy, I guess.
A guy we used to know a long time ago.
Yeah, a guy we used to know a long time ago. That's the first half. Christian, since you're part of the video?
Alright, what happened was, during the duel, we were all just testing out our decks. I was testing out some weird muffed up version of Xaldin deck, whatever crap like that. And this guy, he was getting real cocky because his Gemini deck was getting past the judge's skill drain deck somehow, even though skill drain usually beats Gemini. He was running his mouth of saying stuff like, oh, I shouldn't be here. Here, I should be at regionals. This place is nothing but a complete waste of dumping over there such.
Yeah, and that really got our judge really mad.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, was he not happy.
Nope.
So here's what our judge says. He says that, you know what? That's it. He's going to challenge... Hey, our judge was going to challenge that guy to a duel. And if he wins, he's banned. He's kicked out.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, if the guy with the dueling attitude wins, he can stay.
Pretty much.
And was it like he can have any 5 cards, was it? Or how'd it go? I remember the first part.
I think he did say something about if he wins, you can have any 5 cards of his deck or something like that.
Yeah, that's what he also bet.
Right.
The guy with the dueling attitude lost.
Yes.
And, yeah, that's what you're going to get if you do dueling attitude.
Right.
Also, we also want to talk to you about... Okay, enough fooling around. This is somewhat a serious video.
Okay.
We also want to talk to you about the anti-medas. Somewhat of disaster dragons and of other decks.
How people think they must do this and that in order to make their decks good.
Yeah. Be honest with you, folks, in my opinion, they're not necessary. I'm sorry, but they're not really necessary.
Side deck, I would agree, but not main deck.
Yeah. For example, Effect Filler in a Disaster Dragon. I'm gonna have to say, think about what would happen. What would happen, say me and Christian are dueling.
Okay.
Christian has an Effect Filler in his Disaster Dragon, which he usually doesn't run, but just an example.
Right.
I have a face down, and of course he wants to negate my Arcanite's ability.
Right.
With his Effect Filler.
Yes.
What do you think's going to happen? What do you think that face is going to be?
I don't know.
It's going to be Divine Wrath. And you're thinking, wait, what? What just happened?
Divine Wrath just cancel out Effect Failure.
Yeah, basically, you can't do anything about it.
Right, unless you have a Solemn Judgment, but other than that, no.
Yeah, and what are the odds of having a Solemn Judgment on your field?
Usually not too often, but even if you do negate with Solemn Judgment, you're pretty much just wasting half your life points just to negate one card.
Yeah. And also, Max C. Holy crap. I don't think Max C is very necessary in a frickin' Disaster Dragon. When I first heard that, I was like, what?
Even so, dude, 50 freaking bucks, if plus more. But even so, dude, why run Max C when you got something good like Mass Dragon?
Yeah, and of course, you got other dragon like cards that you can draw. Trade in. What else?
Mass Dragon searches when he's destroyed by battle.
That too. You got plenty of cards to search
Right.
for other cards. You don't need freaking Maxi. And what are the odds of pulling off, your opponent special summoning in crap loads of times? The only time that sometimes an opponent, special summons is only
When he's running sectors, rat windups, and Rabby Dragon and Rabby Dinos.
yeah. Even so, if your opponent special summons, take me for example. Do you know the mostly I special summon is up to either 2 or 3 monsters. Ooh, I got 3 cards in my hand.
That usually helps out a bit, but depending on who your opponent is, by the time you do get someone you want from Max C, your opponent pretty much has game, because unless your opponent just ends his turn, you're pretty much not gonna. Unless it's Effect Failure, Gore, Strike Goody, or else like that, you're pretty much done right there.
Yeah, and for an example of Max C, if you watch this guy named X Stevens channel, if you watch that episode of Demonic Duel, the pro version, you'll understand about Max C. When even though Onomatopoeia swarmed the field with craploads of fabled monsters,
And even though he drew all those cards, none of them were useful to him because Onomatopoeia OTK'd him.
yes. So basically, you need to be very careful when it comes to a Max C.
Sometimes Max C can deck you out.
Yeah, even though that your opponent you survive somehow from your opponent, keep in mind all your opponent has to do is just end your turn, and you're like, oh shit, I can't draw anything.
Exactly.
What else? Oh, and Blackluster Soldier.
Somebody please ban him.
Yeah, somebody please ban him, and also, I don't think it's necessary to have him in your deck.
He was, well, not all decks at least.
Yeah, not all decks. And same goes for Tour Guide. Let me just say that
Tour Guide is just pure overrated. That's all that needs to be said.
Yeah. I mean, she is good at some decks.
Just pure overrated.
Okay, we get what you're saying, the pure overrated thing. Anyway, yeah, basically what Christian said.
Thank you. And so is Rescue Rabbit.
Yeah, somewhat Rescue Rabbit. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow he got reprinted.
That would laugh.
And of course, think about what you're doing when you're buying these cards. I mean, just recently, people were all like, gimme that Tour Guide. Now, she's being reprinted. And you're thinking, aw, man, I just wasted. How much was she again?
Before she was reprinted, Tour Guide was at least $100. One Tour Guide alone.
Yeah, she's like, your people were like, aw, man, I just wasted $300 for 3 freaking copies. I should have waited.
And once Tour Guide gets reprinted, she's only going to be worth $20 at most.
Yeah, so everyone out there, you just wasted $300 down that toilet.
For something that you could have waited till at least Epic Dawn and only paid at least $60 at most.
Yeah. And of course, let's not forget Rescue Rabbit. Imagine him being reprinted by, not in Epic Dawn, but in some other pack or some tin.
Probably not for a while, at least.
Yeah, but I'm just giving an example or throwing something out.
Right.
Then it means all of you people would be wasting $400 down that toilet.
Right.
So I guess that's what we mostly got to say. That some anti-meta cards are not really necessary, and some people in dueling attitude are just sometimes assholes, or it's not really cool to be dueling attitude. It's somewhat bullying, actually, if you kind of think about it.
Yeah, it can be bullying. Depends on who you're talking to and how you treat that person.
Yeah. And of course, I already did a video on bullying, which I told you, don't be a bully.
Be a star.
Yeah, be a star. For WWE.
Be a star.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's what most we got to think of saying.
Pretty much.
Leave more suggestions for what Xaldin thinks down below. And thumbs up for Christian being here.
I'm stealing these.
You better not. Anyway, so first time ever in What Xaldin Thinks video, I got a guest star. So, if you like Christian being around my videos, like this video or comment, yes, I like Christian being around here. So, see ya!